Welcome back to another episode of the Recession Resistant Real Estate Radio. I'm your host, Brandon Cobb, co-founder of HBG Capital. And today I want to go over the principles that I've learned from others who are having success working with high net worth individuals. Specifically, I want to go over exactly what the key takeaways are to make high net worth people want to work with you. I've had the opportunity to rub shoulders with people who've raised hundreds of millions of dollars from private investors, institutional investors, funds, and there is a very specific framework that they're looking for, not just in the deal analysis itself, but in the person that they're lending money to. And I want to share those with you today. But before we dive in, if you get value from these episodes, please take a second and leave us a review. The reviews are the podcast currency that bump us up in the algorithm and allow us to bring you more fantastic content. And if you leave us a review, you might as well share this with your friends and family as well. All right, jumping into it. So there are 6 main takeaways that I've learned that make high net worth individuals want to work with somebody. And the first one is having a sense of urgency to accomplish your goals. There's a very good book called Private Equity Profits that gives you a great understanding of the world of private equity and venture capital. I don't know that it gets much bigger when it comes to venture capital. You've got just billions and billions. I think the SoftBank CEO went to the Saudis and raised like $100 billion for a venture capital firm that was going to go invest in tech startups. So it's huge. There are a ton of high net worth individuals that want to invest in tech and startups. And in this book, this CEO, who is very popular for being hired by these private equity companies to come in and basically run organizations, gives us a breakdown of what it's like working for private equity in this startup industry. And he says that it is high sense of urgency. He's like, if you're somebody who does not deal with stress very well, do not get into this business. It is a very high risk, high reward type of play, but everything is super fast. I'm tripping over my words here. Everything is super fast pace. And the reason for that is the investors are looking for a certain IRR. And if you don't want an IRR, it's an internal rate of return. It's basically how much money you make on your money per year after everything's settled and said and done. And the biggest influential factor on your IRR is time. The longer your money is locked up, the lower your potential IRR. So in the private equity world, they usually have between 3 and 5 years to really turn this company around and grow it before they have to sell it. And that might seem like a long time, but to hit the numbers that they want to hit, it takes quite a bit of time, work time. So the long hours and the stress are all centered around getting stuff done. So high net worth individuals really want to work with people who have a sense of urgency to accomplish their goals. The second is they've got a high speed of execution and implementation. And I want to separate what I just said with this. When it comes to high speed and execution, they want to feel like things are rocking and rolling. They don't want to invest money and then have something sit for several months and not be getting any updates or not see progress. They want to see progress. So principle number one, you've sold them on the fact that you're very urgent. You want to get stuff done fast. You're very passionate about your goals, and you've got this sense of urgency around everything. The second is the speed at which you can execute and deliver results. So high net worth individuals want to see that you can deliver results and you can deliver them on a very consistent basis that shows that you are on track. Again, I'm going to go back to this private equity profits book. He says that in the world of private equity, when these companies are buying these other companies and they're implementing like a CEO in that role, usually to run that new organization and change things, that if they're not seeing results in like the first 6 months, if that new CEO is not hitting results, all of a sudden they become micromanagers of that CEO. And he's like, you do not want somebody breathing down your throat. It is not fun. So you want to make sure that you have a high speed of execution and implementation. The third is an attention to detail and high demand for excellence. So, this goes back to one of my favorite principles. It doesn't matter what you do, make sure you do it in the best way possible. I don't care if you're sweeping floors at McDonald's, make sure you've got the cleanest floors out there. If you're unloading trucks for UPS, be the most efficient and fastest truck unloader on the market. You want to do everything at a very, very high level. There's a famous quote from Brian Tracy that has really stuck with me over the years. And he was explaining how the first place racehorse makes 16 times more money than the second place racehorse. But the time difference between the first place and second place horse is literally fractions of a second. So you don't have to be echelons better than the next company to be in first place and succeed. You just need to be better by just a hair. So having this attention to detail and this high demand for excellence, high net worth people know that when it comes down to push versus shove, and you're looking to differentiate yourself among your competitors and win market share and win profits, sometimes it's neck and neck, and the winner comes down to the finer details. The next is having an obsession with growth. I can tell you right now that when speaking with high net worth individuals, they'll ask what the long-term vision is. What do you want to get out of this? What do you want? They're looking if you want to grow or not. Because if you're not obsessed about growth and they're looking to invest with you, I mean, non-growth and investment kind of don't go together. They want to grow their money. They want to grow their investment with you. It is important to make sure that you are completely obsessed about growth and you've got this fantastic vision to paint and show them on how you're going to grow the company. So very, very important to be obsessed with growth. The fifth and final one is curiosity about new topics and a desire for expertise. A lot of the high net worth people that I know and other people that are raising a lot of money and working with these high net worth individuals, they tend to take an interest if you've got like a curiosity about new topics or you've got a desire for a certain expertise, like you're obsessed with learning. Now, this does a couple things, and there could be a couple of reasons why. This is just something that I noticed. One is, when you're always learning, that means you're growing, and growing is good for capital. But when you've got this sense of like curiosity and things are always looking new, you're looking for unique ways, right? You're looking for potential ways that you can mitigate certain risks or mitigate certain issues. When you've got a desire to really want something, like you want to obtain some level of expertise that you haven't had out there, like they like that hunger. They want that. They want somebody who's ambitious. They want a hunter, someone who's going to go out there and kill, and someone who's going to be a problem solver. Because high net worth individuals, one great thing about working with them is that they understand that things aren't always going to go right from time to time. Whereas mom and pop investors tend to ask a lot more questions. They tend to be a little bit more high maintenance, again, because it might not be their first rodeo. High net worth individuals tend to be older, right? They tend to be older. They've had a lot more time. They've had a lot more experience. Their money has had a lot more time to compound, which is why they've gotten to the level that they've gotten to. And so they tend to be a little bit easier to work with. So they understand that things don't always go right. So having that curiosity about new topics and that desire for expertise, that just kind of shows them that you're going to be interested to mitigate the issues and creative enough to navigate the issues when they come. And you will have issues with your projects and their investment in some point in the future. It's not if you have problems, it's how you handle the situation when that happens. That's it for today. We'll see you guys next time.